How's it going, everyone? My name is Broken Pinky. Welcome back, UBL Nation. Today we are going to be going over our weekly recap here for week one. Man, what a first week to start things out on. We had a lot of really good matches in the Dusk and Dawn division. I think one division was a little bit more hotly contended than the other, but regardless, it was a really fun week to spectate. And I'm going to be going through these matches pretty quickly. Just because I'm a little bit strapped for time, to be completely honest. But yeah. So, yeah. I guess that's pretty much it. So, if you guys watched the pick'ems, then Cathy and I made our predictions for who we thought would win each game in the first week. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at it from the point of view of who I personally thought would win. So in this first game, I thought Arab was going to win, so we're going to be watching his POV. Second game, I thought that Eris was going to win, so we're going to be watching his POV. Third game, I thought it was going to be Gig, so on and so forth. But yeah, so let's just get right into it here. I'm going to be honest, I don't really know why Torcat and Farad are here. But let's just get right into it. So we see this lead here on both sides. Turn 1 terror from the horse, Braveheart into the Whimsicott. Tailwind's going to be set up, Shadow Ball into the Ogre Pawn. And we see the knockoff. So, a lot revealed early on. Braveheart Talonflame was going for the kill on a Whimsicott, and it's not strong enough to do that. Because Talonflame sucks. Terra Fairy, Life Orb Spectre was real very early. So yeah, it's I don't know. This is a weird position just because, like, I don't know. I feel like leading off a Spectre is not great for air. I feel like it's better if you can, like, reserve for the late game, because already your lead took a ton of damage. Spectre lost its item, and you got no KOs out of it, so it's kind of a weird start. So Ogre spikes, Shadow Ball's into the wrong guy, and now Pyrus gets his tailwind up. So here come the shocks. They are booster speed, which means that Air has the slower team at this current point. But Shadow Ball picks up the kill, which is nice. So we already know all 4 of the Mons for Pyrus. Sandy shocks. Is not gonna get the actually wow. So Wim's is gonna reset tailwind real fast. Shocks does a ton of damage. Shadow Ball comes out, and Infernibus Focus Sash, which means it's going to live the hit, get the kill on the Whims. So, really awkward spot for Air. Taunt is gone, their Tailwind is gone, so now Air has the faster team, and the Taurus is in. So, I mean, this is a great spot for Air, to be honest. Let's see what happens. Protect, goes to the opportunity to pick off the Ape. Makes sense. Thunder Miss onto the Taurus. That's really bad. So we got a few turns of Tailwind left. Spiky Shield. Shadow Ball's that guy. Close Combat's the other guy. Okay. Interesting. Thunder hits the Spectre, gets the kill. And last spawn is going to be the Rotom. So we see the Follow Me. Raging Bull doesn't get the kill. Wow. And the Overheat, which I do not like. And the Gravity comes out. Okay, so here, this looks like a pretty free end game, because Sandy Shocks only gets single target moves, so we can only hit one of these guys at a time. And even at -2 special attack, which it shouldn't have been in the first place, you can still kill the Ogre Pawn with this. I don't know why this horse didn't go for CC. I don't know why this guy last round was played kind of weird, but whatever. For whatever reason, Air's gonna protect. Ogre doesn't kill the Sandy Shocks. Thunder hits because of gravity, and it gets the kill on the Tauros. And now it outspeeds the Rotom, and it just kills it. So, oh man, I should have said, this is not meant to be like a slander on anyone, but that endgame of game 1 was not the best played by Air. I feel like he had a pretty guaranteed win condition 2 turns ago, and he kind of threw it away. And 2% Sandy Shock is going to take game 1. So on to game 2, Air is going to be leading the same. Pyrus changing it up, bringing the fake out Pokemon with the Talonflame. So both these guys are going to set up their Tailwind. For him, it's a Nasty Plot. Ooh, so we now see Nasty Plot and Focus Sash. Braveheart once again does not kill the Whims. fake tears to drop the Spadef. And Inferno hangs on onto Sash, and Terrablast gets the kill onto Whims. So I guess it's just no attacks on the Whims. Shadow Ball kills 1% Infernape. Grim Nay boost. Life Orb chip. Yeah, Life Orb I do not like on the Spectre, to be honest. If it was Spell Tag, I'd like it more. And now I ask, why the hell is Furret here? Because it clicked Super Fang and didn't really do much. And now the Spectre is just kind of getting beat up. And Super Fang does 3% to Magneto. So Thunder Mist happens. Draining Kiss to kill the Magneton. That's very lucky. If Thunder hit, then Air lost on the spot. Braver gets the kill on the Spec. And the Sphere is Mono Super Fang. So, yikes. Oh, and there's the Finneon, so you can't Aqua Jet the Talonflame. That's fun. And Air kind of got knowledge checked on that one. But the Furret is bulky enough. Braver kills the Talonflame. And this game is pretty much wrapped up at this point, because like close combat, helping hand, GG easy. So, I mean, Furret helped, but I don't know. Pyrus just kind of, I don't know. Pyrus brought Finneon. Like, imagine if it was Ogerpon instead of Finneon, and you could have gotten damage off. Like, yeah, your Talonflame would have died. Oh no, get Ivy cuddled, idiot. Because Air already teared turn 1, right? Yeah. So, like, I don't know. That was just weird. But Air's going to take it. We're going to be going to a game 3. Prepare to hear that a few times. So, yeah, we have same leads as game 2. This time, Fake Out actually happens. And Air is not going to get Tailwind up in this game, which is not good for him. And Shadow Ball does not pick up the Infernape. So, here comes the Tauros ready to get a kill. Spectre, Terra Fairies, we get the kill on the Infernape, all the good stuff. Shadow Ball kills the Talonflame. So, pretty commanding position. You have your Grim Nay up, you have all your stuff, but here comes the Magneton, or the Sandy Shocks, and Ogerpon. And, yep, you hit your Thunder. And Shadow Ball doesn't kill the Shocks. And the Ivy Cudgel crit kills the Tauros. And that's the game. Just in one fell swoop. Double crit. Damn, that might have been Razor Claw, honestly. I don't know. It could have been Razor Claw. If so, that's kind of heat. But yeah. Air kind of came into this game with 2 Pokemon, which is the Tauros and the Spectre. Because, like, this isn't doing anything. This doesn't do anything. I'm pretty sure this did not have an attacking move, because otherwise Air would have just used it to break the Infernape Sash for the Spectre or whatever. And then Rotom, the one game it came, it just died immediately. So, like, Air was playing 2 against 4. And that is not a fun game to win. Because Whimsicott literally just came to click Tailwind. That's all it did. It clicked Fake Tears. But those calcs kind of didn't matter. And that Spectre just wasn't quite strong enough. So, I don't know. I don't think there was much reason, like, Spectre could have been Terragos, and that would have been really, really strong. Because, like, that would have turned a lot of those, like, 95% kills into Okos, and that would have freed the Moonsault on Whims to run Moonblast over Fake Tears. So, I don't know. Kind of a confusing game. But Pyrus is going to walk away with that W. Cathy and I were both incorrect in our assumption. But, yeah, Pyrus just knew that these two guys were really good into the Tauros, and Spectre cannot do it all on its own because it is very frail, especially on the physical side. And that's 3 physical. And these 2 are really good physical attackers. Next up, this game. Oh man, this is where I really have to stress that I do not mean to be a bully of any kind, because this game hurts me. But the set is played really well up to a certain point. So, let's just get right into it. Nobody bringing a lot of redirection and a pretty strong Trick Room presence. But Eris, who's on our side, rocks with a Fake Out. Plus the Shadow or the Phantom Force. So, yeah, we see Casted Berry, which is pretty good. Hydro Pump brings the Untied down to the Sash, and the Knockoff puts it super low. So another Phantom Force. I kind of wish you clicked Dragon Darts there. I get why, because now you can bring in your Florges. So So you get the kill, but now you're dead to Iron Bundle. So it's not fun. Alluring Voice is a lot of damage to the bundle, but it's still alive. But here goes the Metagross versus the Snorlax. So we see immediate double Terra. And the Hydro Mist is huge. So Chilling Water into the Lax. Heavy Slam is going to pick up the bundle. That Hydro Mist is really big. And now Snorlax recovers with Figgy Berry, and it is 2 against 2. And the Spirit Break is not going to be enough to kill the Florges. Chilling Water doesn't quite pick up the Snorlax, but with the Metagross support, it should be. Oh, no, Metagross goes for the Val. Crunch is going to kill the Metagross, and now in this 1v1, Life Orb Florges is going to get the kill. So, Aris barely going to take that game 1. So we do see the booster on the bundle. We don't see Sash on the Val. And we see Belly Drum, Crunch, Figgy Berry, Lax, and then Rage Powder, Castleberry, Matcha Guy. Life Orb Florges is also a pretty cool riff with Alluring Voice, so clearly Aris is expecting setup. Other than that, it's relatively standard. But we do know the Terra dynamic. It's Terra Water Florges versus Terra Fire Snorlax. And that's going to be big for the set in general. So, game 2, Aris is going to change things up pretty significantly, leading with the Jug and the Florge. So, Florge is sharing its Life Orb, which is really cool. And I say, that's how it works? That's crazy, because I genuinely did not know. So, we see the Terra Ghost, I guess expecting a Fake Out, but nobody gets Trick Room up kind of for free. He's going to Terra the Sinistcha, do big damage to the Jug, and I think Aris was expecting a Terra and did not see a Terra, so... Well, not on the Lax, at least. So, Body Slam is going to just fold that Florges. Matcha Gotcha goes to Protect, but nobody is so strong in this Trick Room matchup, and we see Recycle. So we know all 4 of Snorlax's moves. It is Recycle Lax, which is very, very scary for the rest of the set. And at this point, nobody just kind of keeps attacking. Yeah, Crunch is going to pick up the Pult, Shadow Ball, or the Metagross. Shadow Ball is going to kill the Dragapult. And at this point, it can only get 1 kill. And even then, it cannot while in the Phantom Force. So, very clean 4-0 victory for nobody there after game 1. And clearly revealing that Trick Room is where his team is going to function best, especially with that Snorlax. And that Snorlax is a big threat. So let's see how game 3 is going to play out here. Going to see Dragapult and Mientra going back to game 1 for Aris here. And nobody going to be sticking with the game 2 game plan. We see the Fake Out into the U-turn to bring in the Metagross. So Trick Room is still going to go up, but now a much more aggressive position. Florge is going to come in. Lax is going to come in. Terra Fire on the Metagross, and we see the Rage Powder. Heavy Slam doing big damage. Another Rage Powder. Bullet Punch gets that's the kill. We see Belly Drum. And now finally, Aris is going to click the Alluring Voice onto that Snorlax with 4x attack. And that could be pretty good. But here comes the second redirector from nobody, the Volcarona. And we are seeing double Terra Fire here. Snorlax gets this Figgy Berry. Heavy Slam does pretty solid damage. Here comes the Body Slam. Barely he's going to live. He's going to get paired. Psyche Fangs picks up the kill. Chilling Water happens. That para was really not good though, as Trick Room is about to end. And you would really want to hit the Lax. So Double Protect is going to come out, so no bullet punching onto the Val. Snorlax hits itself, does a big chunk of damage, but Metagross gets paralyzed, so pretty unfortunate here for Aris. And at this point, Fleur just has to keep clicking Chilling Water. And I mean, like, this is a pretty good spot. Like, if I am Aris in this spot, I'm feeling pretty good. Because the Snorlax just ate his Figgy Berry, so it doesn't have an item that it can eat in the turn. Your Mienshao has Sash. So, you've seen Protect on... There's 2 schools of thought, pretty much. Either you double attack the Snorlax and kill it, or you Fake Out the Snorlax and you kill the Valiant. However, nobody has revealed that this Valiant has Protect, so going for that is not safe, because Valiant can just click Protect, and your Florges is not going to be able to kill it, and you lose your Fake Out. So personally, the Snorlax does not have Protect. We know this last move was Crunch from game 1, or game 2, whatever it was. If Mienshao just close combats, and Fleur just clicks the Chilling Water, That should be a dead Snorlax, and then it's going to be 3 against 1. 3 against this Val. So, very commanding position for Eris. And instead, he fakes up the Lax, gets knocked into his Sash, and Florges doesn't attack the Valiant. And I'm like, okay. So it's still 2v2. It could be 2v1. But it's fine. So that gets the kill. We just have to kill the Valiant, and it'll be chilling water the Lax, and it's gonna recycle again. And he gets his Figgy Berry back, and it goes back to 50%. Okay. So we bring in our Dragon Bolts. We go for Protect. We go for Phantom Force. We see the Valiant has Poison Jab. That's cool. Snorlax recycles another Figgy Berry, and it's now at 83%. And at this point, Snorlax is unkillable, especially if you Alluring Voice it, which that's just like a mechanics difference. Alluring Voice doesn't work like that. You should have been clicking Chilling Water to lower that attack more and more. Body Slam is going to get the para, and at that point, nobody is going to barely scrape by a victory in week 1. So, again, really commanding position for Eris, and just played around the end game a little bit poorly, and nobody was able to capitalize on that. So, I was wrong in that prediction. Cathy was right. So, she is up 1-0 in the predictions. But here's my only chance to redeem myself, and it's going to be the game of the week. A little bit of a spoiler. We have Gig versus Cannor. So I said Gig was going to win. She said Cannor was going to win. And let's just take a look at how this game played out. Because there's some heat in this game. So, immediately, we see both the Tailwind Setters. We see booster speed on the leaves. And we see an Amorous just kind of chilling. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, 3 birds on the field and a grass type. Though an Amorous is not getting flying moves because they hate that guy. So, already very interesting turn 1. We see Sludge Wave on the Torn instead of Sludge Bomb to hit everything, break the Sash, do big damage, kill the Enamorous immediately. And we see Taunt and Enamorous. So clearly Cannor is trying to prevent Tailwind from coming up. That's the whole point of this lead, is to get Tailwind up and stop your opponent's Tailwind. And Gig says, I don't care, give me your Enamorous, give me 50% of your kilowatt. And it takes Life Orb Chip. So we see Terra Electric Kilowatt just blow up that Tornadus. Dragon Claw is going to kill the Iron Leaves. So Cannor up 3 against 2. And yeah, that's Blaze Incineroar. I saw this game live, and I could not believe Blaze Incineroar was here. I was shocked. But it's Blaze Incineroar. So this Haxorus is still large and in charge, doesn't have an attack drop. I don't know if it's Amulet or not, but even if it wasn't, it's at neutral attack. And with 147 attack, that's pretty strong. How does Gig combat this? By terroring his Garchomp Psychic on the Dragon Dance, clicking Scale Shot, and killing it in 2 hits to break the Sash. It just kills it. So that's a very strong Garchomp. It's later revealed to be Choice Banded Adamant Garchomp. Max attack, like as strong as possible. It's the only way Scale Shot kills him too. So Cannor trying to set up an endgame, he gets completely punished, loses his best offensive force, and is now staring down +1 Garchomp with 1 turn of Trick Room left. And both his Pokemon are under 50%. So he goes to the Helping Hand, Thunderbolt, trying to get some kill, but this Garchomp is super bulky, tanks the hit very well. And Incineroar should be able to pick up the kill. And that is a really, really good victory for Gig here in Game 1. That was really scary. Terra's Psychic Garchomp is interesting, but it makes sense because it resists Psychic plus Fighting, which is what this Iron Crown is probably going to be running. But it also gets super destroyed by Umbreon. So, I don't know. It's weird. And we also see Helmet in DD, Terra Electric Kilowattrel. So, clearly Cannor has like contingency with the Kilowattrel being a good offensive force alongside the Haxorus. And seeing Dragon Dance on the Haxorus is very scary for the rest of the set. So, let's get right into game 2. Cannor going to be leading off of that Haxorus next to that Kilowattrel. And we're going to be seeing Milotic come out. Again, no Intimidate Incineroar. Still amuses me every time. Ice Beam does big damage. U-turn, not going to pick up the kill though. Lariat probably would have and that would have changed the course of this game quite significantly because, yeah, Declaw does a lot of damage. So there's your own Tailwind, but Ice Beam doesn't get the kill. And at this point, Cannor's Pokemon outspeed both of Gig's Pokemon, and they both get the kill. So Declaw, again, not intimidating Incineroar. Kilowatt gets the kill on the Milo. Garchomp is going to come in. And at this point, yeah, Fake Out's going to get the pick on the Haxorus, which is nice. And then Non-Terra Terra Blast, which is a special attack, hits the Enamorus. So Gig is forced to immediately switch out. Double Protect from Cannor for positioning. And now there's no Tailwind. So pretty awkward spot. Gig gets a Lord prediction, though, switching into Garchomp on a Thunderbolt. So it's able to live a little bit longer, but Enamorus gets the kill into the Incineroar. With the superpower. Terra Psychic. Tornadus is pretty healthy. Goes for the Dark Bulls. Doesn't quite get the pick onto the Enamorus. Or onto the Kilowattrel. And Poison Jab into the Enamorus kind of seals the fate. Because at this point, there's the Thunderbolts. There's the Play Rough. And one more attack from this Kilowattrel. It's going to spell the end of Garchomp here in Game 2. And we see the Umbreon as the last. So, Protect. I guess Foul Play to get the kill. And Cannor's going to pretty decisively get that Game 2 back in his favor with just a really strong advantage. And using Kilowattrel and Haxorus really, really well. Because those Pokemon just got kills. And I mean, Gig made a good prediction, but wasn't really able to get too much off of it. In that early game, put him in a pretty big deficit. That was really hard for him to get out of. So, here we go, decisive Game 3. And it wouldn't be Match of the Week if Game 3 was not a banger. So, let's just get into it, man. So, we see Iron Crown and Didi. So, finally, Cannor's going to be bringing that Psy Spam core. And we see all of our stuff activate. It's Booster Special on the Iron Crown. Gravity on this guy. Darkest Lariat. Immediately Incineroar, one of the most important Pokemon in the matchup, is at 6%. So it's dead. But Gravity is up. And here comes Tornadus. And Tornadus is very famous for something in particular, and that is how not accurate its moves are. So we see Follow Me. Leaf Blade is going to attack into it, get the kill onto the Indeedee, which is really nice for Gig. Terra Blast is not going to get the kill onto the Tornadus, so good prediction from Gig there. We see the Terra Steel. Psyblade not going to go into the other guy. Tailwind's going to come out. Foul Play does a ton of damage to the Iron Leaves, but because it Terra'd, it lived, and the Psyblade just destroys that Iron Crown. And Bleak Wind in the Tailwind, or in the Gravity, is so funny. So Umbreon finds the kill. It is 3 against 2 in favor of Gig. And this could be wrapped up here for Gig, honestly. Bleak Wind does a lot of damage to the Haxorus, but he Scale Shots into the wrong slot. Dragon Claw comes out, does a lot of damage to the Garchomp. So you still have another turn to Tailwind, but Bleak Wind misses the Haxorus, which is really unlucky. And he once again Scale Shots the Umbreon. I think he should have Scale Shotted the Haxorus. Just a little bit of insurance, but now we're in a little bit of spooky town because this Haxorus is the fastest thing on the field. Declaw, well, actually no, Gig played that perfectly. I lied, because Haxorus can only get 1 kill at a time. Kills the Tornadus, and Garchomp hits all of its Scale Shots, and that is a massive upset win for Gig, with just Garchomp at 8%, Incineroar on 6%. Barely he's going to get the win. And I said that was fire, because that was fire. That was such a good game. That Gravity from Game 3, or that Gravity from Gig, was super cool in Game 3. But yeah, that game was so awesome. I had to get a little bit of a special guest to talk about it. So introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Gig. I am the guy who I guess won the set of the week. Not much else to say.
It was a fire match. that Gravity in Game 3, my god, that was so funny.
I had way more plans for the Gravity. I'm kind of sad that I didn't get to use all of it, to be honest.
No, because like Gravity Earthquake with Garchomp sounds fire.
It was originally, the original plan was I was going to run Terra Ground on Garchomp and just hopefully sweep through everything. I just never got the chance to get it out.
Yeah. I don't know. There was a lot of funny stuff in general. Did you intend for Incineroar to be Intimidate, or did you just have it Blaze by accident? Or to
No,
be...
I actually intended for it to be Blaze. The reason why is I had expected he would use the fact that I had Intimidate against me because he had competitive on Kilowattrel and contrary on Enamorous. So I was hoping that he would expect me to bring just regular support Incineroar.
Yeah, and I mean, that worked out because it was physical and Amorous in games 1 and 2. We clicked play rough and superpower and stuff, so that was a good call. I don't think the Kilowatt got its ability revealed, though. If I had to guess...
Kilowattrel, I'm 100% sure was competitive. That's what I was hoping. But it was setting up Tailwinds, and it wasn't getting a buff, so it wasn't Wind Power.
You're right. Yeah, so it was competitive. Dang.
I would assume so. Volt Absorb wouldn't really be much of a worthwhile thing, because I just don't have any electrics.
Yeah. I don't know. This was a really interesting match. I guess, if you don't mind me asking, what was Orthworm here for? Because
Orthworm was for the gravity combo.
Oh, to be next to Garchomp. I see.
He's the only thing to be able to survive next to Garchomp, but he also did add a couple little good niches anyways. I had it spec'd with a berry so that he could take an Expanding Force, heal it off, and then Shed Tail into any Pokemon I needed. It's very playing heavy into like a Psy Spam focus, but he also came with Metal Burst because I thought that'd be really funny if he just one-shot something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, that sounds cool. I feel like you brought a lot of really cool stuff.
I tried to make it spicy for the first bit.
I think Cannor kind of played in a way that made it hard for you to use that, but you also just made some really good predictions.
Oh, he did awesome. I was definitely thrown off initially because I thought he'd go right into the Psy Spam.
Mm-hmm.
But he instead went more of a offensive without it, and that did throw me off quite a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, but like I think that turn 1 game 1 threw him off a good bit too, because like
I had that planned. That was one of the last things I did. I had done a lot of testing on how my team would match up and how it would be able to handle a lot of the threats. And Enamorous was always just the number 1. My team's really bad against Enamorous.
Yeah, I got you.
Something about Garchomp not being able to hit it at all. But I digress. So I went to the drawing board and had to consider what is something that I can do that's just gonna flat out kill Enamorous if I can predict the set. And so the result is a Tornadus that speed creeps max speed Timid Enamorous by 1 point and has enough offense that with a helping hand from Leaves, a Sludge Wave would deal exactly 101%.
I love that. Is there any reason you picked Wave over Bomb? Because I'm pretty sure Tornadus gets Sludge Bomb, but I could be wrong.
It does get Sludge Bomb, and that was very much considered, but there was a factor in Indeedee. In the event that Indeedee was out, I didn't want to risk it being redirected.
Damn, yeah.
So
that's smart.
Wave kind of did a bit better. It also pokes and breaks the Sash if there's like a Sash Kilowattrel or anything else.
Yeah, and I mean Leaves can take it. So
yeah, Leaves is, as long as it's not a bug type move, Leaves can handle a lot of stuff.
Was that another reason why it was Terra Steel on the Leaves for the Sludge Wave?
Yes, actually, it was Terra Steel for that, and also if there was a bug move. But in the end, I mainly ended up using the Terra Steel just to get rid of the Psychic typing, so it could take that foul play.
Yeah, that was pretty big in Game 3. That let you kill the Crown.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah,
I think I had a backup anyways, because with Gravity up, Bleakwind Storm actually has 100% accuracy. So technically, Tornadus would have at least been able to do quite a lot of damage after the switch in if Crown had survived.
Yeah.
but I'd rather have not risked it too much.
Because I mean, either Crown dies or Haxor switches in, and with Sideblade plus Bleak Wind, it probably also dies.
Pretty much. It was supposed to be the whole you damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah. So yeah,
The
I mean,
Leaves was definitely the star of the week. That Mon has really weird support and it's awesome.
yeah, no, Leaves Leaves popped off way more than I expected to, but it was really cool. Banded
It was.
Banded Adamant Bulky Garchomp was such a cool riff. I loved it.
Oh god, I love Garchomp. One of my favorite Pokemon ever anyways, so I was really happy that I could use him in a sense in a kind of season where I can Terra him.
Mm-hmm.
And I can mess around a lot more with his sets. The Banded Garchomp is so fun though.
Yeah.
He just hits everything.
Well, except for Enamorus, but you can't win them all.
Except for Enamorus, but that's what Cavity was originally for.
Hey, at least there's no Togekiss. There's nothing like that.
Oh yeah. See, at least there's only one flying fairy. If there was two, I'd be worried.
I think. Well, there's technically two. I don't think anyone drafted the Therian form though.
No. Thankfully.
But
But Chomp's got a really good moveset. I did run Poison Jab on it just in case I had to 1v1 Enamorus.
yeah, it was what Scale Shot, Earthquake, Poison Jab, Terra Blast.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man, it would have been so cool if you clicked Earthquake, and there's like so many flying types.
Yeah,
So many birds.
and especially with Kilowattrel going Terra Electric, that would have been so good if I could manage to set that up.
Mm-hmm.
I was really hoping, but
Yeah.
I got to show off a lot more of the text than I had originally expected, so I can't say it was like all for nothing. It was a really great set.
Yeah, it was really good. Really well played from both of you. I think your tech just really caught Cannor off guard, and that kind of like rattled him just a little bit.
I think so. I think genuinely that first play, game one, just one-shotting the Enamorus.
Oh yeah.
I was hoping that just out of nowhere, from what looked like more of like a setup lead, would just rattle him enough and throw him off edge, wondering what to expect for the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm. Because he clearly
And then-
expected Tailwind, and then you just killed him.
Yeah, I listen. Tornadus Therian has what Smogan would say is an elite speed stat, but Kilowattrel's just a little bit more elite.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, unfortunately. But so I kind of knew that I would have to play around not having the Tailwind advantage even if I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, offensive, bulky Tornadus Therian with Life Orb. And pray to God that he didn't have wind power, which would probably one-shot.
Yeah.
Planning was a lot on trying to predict what he was gonna build into me, to be honest.
Oh, absolutely. But I feel like you got a pretty nail on the head.
I like to think the biggest thing that threw me off when it came to like first seeing the team was I didn't expect Umbreon. Really didn't expect. I was expecting actually, which better for worse, I was expecting Tauros Blaze.
Mm-hmm.
Just because Blaze has such a good matchup into Incineroar.
Yeah.
It's literally just hard counters whatever I can throw out with him, while also being pretty good into a few other parts of my team.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really have a viable Defiant Mon into side spam that can deal with it, so
Yeah.
I was expecting that. So I actually had prepped a lot more for that. Melodic was really prepped to go against Tauros.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
And I was very sad that I didn't get to bring out Melodic more.
Yeah, I mean, when you did bring up Melodic, it didn't do a ton in game 2 just because of...
No, Melodic really didn't.
Yeah.
I had game 2 was rough. I made a lot of mistakes in game 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I would definitely agree with that, just because, like, I don't know. I think just that opening went really bad, and then versus a team like Cannor, it's really hard to recover.
I had a few like kind of lead combinations set up, and that specific combo was supposed to be expecting Cannor to immediately pivot into Crown and DD.
That's what I
because
didn't take
Melodic
out.
was very specially special defense invested with light screen to let me basically just set up on a expanding force.
Gotcha.
But I heavily mispredicted, and he went Kilowattrel Haxorus, and that's not really good for me.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also the whole thing of turn 4.
Oh yeah, the non-Terra Terra Blast.
Yeah, I was panicking there,
Mm-hmm.
and I completely forgot because I normally just don't run Terra Blast.
Yep, it's a special attack until you terrestrialize. It's so
Yeah,
weird that it does that. That it
to
doesn't
be
just
honest,
automatically use higher
Garchomp
stat.
was Terra Psychic, so I would have kind of lost anyways. He had Umbreon.
Yeah, but at least you would have gotten like 60% on the Enamorus.
I could have just Poison Jab too, but I was just way too petrified that the last Mon was Crown. And if
Yeah.
it was, then I just would have lost flat out anyways. That was that I think was the biggest thing. I got too hesitant on what the last Pokemon was.
Mm-hmm. But you definitely picked it back together in Game 3.
Game 3 went really nicely. I was really happy with Game 3.
Yeah. Especially because like turn 1 it looked like it'd gone like kind of bad because into Psy Spam Incineroar just took all of its health immediately.
I'm so glad that I considered the fact that he's just gonna go Terra Fighting and blast Incineroar.
Mm-hmm. Because it barely lived with the helmet boost as well, or with the helmet chip.
Yeah. I did not calc in the helmet. Actually, that's just Incineroar being Incineroar.
Yeah, it can do anything.
But the main thing was, and it was actually the biggest question I had going into it, into the set, is what did he pick as a Terra for Crown?
Mm-hmm.
Because most of the strategy was focused around Garchomp. Incineroar was mainly there to kind of just be a presence.
Yeah.
I wanted him to build more against Incineroar because of how good he is into Psy Spam.
Mm-hmm.
And for Garchomp and Incineroar having completely different terrors that deal with them, it was a big gamble on if he would go and see that Garchomp was the bigger threat or Incineroar was. And I'm pretty glad that he went with the Terra Fighting. And that's why Leaves works so well with Incineroar, is that anything that threatens Incineroar is threatened by Leaves.
Mm-hmm.
It is absolutely beautiful. And also the fact that Leaves is just really fast and covers a lot of the things that Incineroar can't cover.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I mean, overall, really well played game. Definitely game of the week. Thanks for stopping by and explaining your thought process.
No, absolutely. Thank you for having me here. It was awesome. It's an honor, to be honest.
But yeah, good luck in the rest of your season. I know Cannor wants that rematch. So hopefully you meet him in playoffs.
You know what? I'm hoping and dreading for that. I'd love to meet him in playoffs, but also I don't want to test my luck twice.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much.
Of course, good games, and have a good one.
I'll see you on Smoking.
Yeah, see you around.
Eventually.
Thank you again, Gig, for that wonderful appearance. Let's just keep it pushing here. I might have split it up into 2 parts, or I might just have to go really, really fast. But next up we have Cam and Lyric. Cathy and I both predicted that Cam was going to win, so I guess the standings for the pick'ems, Cathy and I are both 1-1. We each got one right and 2 wrong. So instant lead. That is a Zoroark. Flip turn does so much damage to Rabombi. Neely Mise just goes to the Infestation to reveal that that is indeed Zoroark. And it takes some chip. So there's the Encore. Get used to seeing Encore. You're going to see it a lot. So Rabombi clicks Tailwind again. Another Hyper Voice comes out. Illumise barely is going to live. And Draco's going to pick up the kill out of the Zoroark pretty easily. Here comes the Cornerstone. Palmot's going to come in. Cudgel does big damage to the Draco. Another Infestation to break the Sturdy. And here comes the Outrage to knock the Palmot down to Sash. So, already, ton of offensive pressure from Cam. Lyric, pretty battered, but still has, some stuff that she can cook with. The Sturdy Draco is on its last limb. And it looks like, yeah, it's going to be a double knockout here. So that leaves Palafin and a mystery guy in the back. It's going to be Clawitzer. So 2 water types versus an electric and grass type. But follow me Jet Punch. Terra Water Jet Punch just kills. Double Shock killed the Palafin. But Clawitzer is going to get the kill with the Ice Beam. And that just leaves Clawitzer and Rabombi. And that is a pretty easy endgame for Clawitzer to win. Just as the tank that it is. Eats that Ball and Puff. Terra Steel Rabombi a little bit too late. If it was Terra Steel a turn earlier, that could have been a W because this might have been like choice locked in. But Cam is going to pick up that game 1. Pretty close. And we're going to go to game 2. And here's the Illumise Goldango lead into Palmot and Rabombi. So protect from the Palmot. Tailwind from the Illumise. Nasty Plot from the Goldango. Tailwind from Rabombi. Pretty standard stuff. Both guys setting up Tailwind. And yeah, Encore. Oops. So now this is stuck. This could have been stuck if Cam went for the Encore, but Goldango's at +4. And this is locked into Protect, and Rabombi can't hit it that hard, and it's forced to U-turn out. And now Lyric can't set up Tailwind again, and Cam has Tailwind, has the ability to reset Tailwind pretty easily. So there's the extra Tailwind. Here's the Make It Rain, +6 Goldango, knocks Palmot down to Sash. Double Shock does a lot of damage to the Goldango, but it eats Citrus Berry. It's gonna live. Vigavolt's gonna come in, and there's the Encore. Shadow Ball's gonna come out. Spiky Shield. And at this point, Lyric is kind of in the vortex. So Protect is going to come out from the Goldango. Fake out into the Illumise. Protect on the Rabombi. So just kind of protect cycling. Lyric's trying to stall the Tailwind a little bit. But Cam can just set it up again with the Prankster. And that's going to make the Goldango outspeed the Rabombi. And because Rabombi is not Sash, because the Sash is going to be on the Palmot, that's a pretty easy double KO. Well, almost double KO. This is going to live on 1. And it's just going to be these 2. So we see Protect, Infestation, just so Illumise can get 1 kill. But that is going to be another nasty plot, and Illumise finds another kill with Infestation. So yeah, that was a very decisive game 2 from Cam. Just entirely playing in Trick Room and playing around the fact that Lyric does not have a great matchup into Zoroark or into Goldango, because Crocodile is kind of fake, and Zoroark didn't work in game 1. So good call from Cam predicting that Goldango could go hard. And yeah, that is a very nice 2-0 victory for Cam. Both Cathy and I got that correct. So yeah, that is all of the Dusk replays here. So hopefully the Dawn ones will go just a little bit quicker.
All right, welcome back, UBL Nation. Sorry about that little cutaway. Life got very busy for me, so I am currently recording this well beyond week 1 and 2. I got the first half of the recap, and then I had to stop, so sorry if I sound a bit different, sorry if everything's a little bit weird, but I really wanted to get that interview with Gig in, and I didn't want to have to redo it out of respect to his time. So let's just get right into the Dawn replays. First off, Cathy versus Gambit. This one, Cathy and I agreed was pretty in her favor. So let's just get right into it. I think I did most of these in matchup order. Actually, you know what? Screw it. We'll do it in matchup order. I think first was Rat and Vatrena, which is right there. Perfect. So let's actually just do that. So Cathy and I agreed that this is pretty in favor of Vatrena. But Rat is a very strong player. And has a very funny little dog. 2 little dogs, honestly. So this is the lead from both sides. We're just seeing the Protects coming out. The world learns that Meowscarada gets Ally Switch, and Rat makes the Lord Reed of all time clicking knockoff. No, this is just good option coverage from Rat's end. And Vatrena kind of just outplayed himself a little bit, I feel like, because I feel like that knockoff is like kind of obvious. And getting into Ally Switch is cool. You don't want to. You want to put the right on in the face of your Temper Flare, whatever this thing wants to click. But that Okie Dokie's a big threat, and I don't think anyone was really respecting it before. So yeah, I'm like the God reads. So this gets the kill. Rockside misses, which is whatever. So now we're in this board position. Meow's dead already. Both the booster speeds are used up. This is definitely faster. And a Violet's gone. So it goes with the Disable, getting rid of the knockoff. Howl's going to come out from the Gouge. Clicks the Drain Punch. I think just guessing Terra. And Horsepower is going to pick up the kill on the Gouge. So nice turn for Vatrena. Terra Grass is going to come out. Encore is going to lock it into the Drain Punch as it hits into the Rhydon. And that does half. So Terra Blast is going to take out the Swampert. Very nice play from Vatrena. But at this point, Chien-Pao's in with Sword of Ruin. This thing is dying next turn. Unless it clicks Protect, which it probably will. But this thing is dying very soon. This thing has Encore Disable, but it used it in the wrong order. So this thing is just kind of stuck clicking Drain Punch. If it was the other way around, then this would be a very good position for Vatrena. But I think Vatrena, to be nice, I think Vatrena like kind of knows that mistake. Like, I have the faith. You know what I mean? Terra Fire is going to be revealed on the Dogi. Disable comes into the other guy. Thunderous Kick as well. And that's going to leave Dogi free to click another fat Drain Punch to get that nice 66%. And that's going to be a 2-shot on the Gyapdos. So Ice Shard is not going to get it. Encore is going to lock it into that. Gunk Shot's going to come out and connect. And Rat is going to pick it up with a 2-0 win at the very end. I mean, pretty good place from Vatrena throughout that game. That turn one was a little bit questionable, not going to lie to you. But I think the Screamtail thing was the main thing that got him down game 1. So game 2, we've already established that Okidogi's pretty dang strong, and Rat is going to be leading with it again next to the Tinkaton. This time is the Rotom Heat alongside the Screamtail. So here comes the Gouge. Both little short lads are next to each other, and Okidogi's going to Terra Fire turn 1. Rat really disrespecting the second move. So pretty free turn for Rat. Vatrena got a lot of information, but D-Gleam just absolutely nothing. Free Howl, and Gunk Shot's just going to obliterate the Screamtail. So not a ton of value being gained from the Screamtail this set, unfortunately. Protect is going to be coming out. Heat Crash to predict the Terra Grass, and then Drain Punch for the checkmate. I don't know if this crit mattered. That is a big crit, though. I mean, it was a good checkmate scenario regardless, but +1 Okidogi hits really, really hard. And at this point, Stone Edge is going to miss. But it doesn't super duper matter. Because, like, this thing does so much damage. Also, I want to point out, this dude was Toxic Chain. Did not get a single Toxic Chain this set. So sad, but that is Fat Rat in a nutshell. So yeah, Heat Crash comes out, Gunk Shot comes out. And that was a very strong game, too. Showing why Okidogi is so incredibly good. So Cathy and I both got that one wrong. We expected Vatrena to win, but Rat really turned up. Showed the power of Okidogi, which I honestly didn't really respect until the set. That's cool. And I also learned that Meowscarada got Ally Switch for some reason. So I think next up was Split and Otto. Yes, that's correct. So we both said this was a pretty easy win for Otto, or for Split, sorry, for Split, the Hail team. So we are going to be looking at Split's POV, Ninetales, and Palmot. And this game 1 is pretty fast. It is kind of blink and you miss it, so I guess don't blink. So Fake Out hits nothing. Sunny Day, so it cancels out the Veil. There comes the Lava Plume, kills the Ninetales immediately, knocks the Palmot down to Sash, and gets the burn, and it kills the Palmot, and the game is over. GG's. So, yeah, is there a way to forfeit and go straight to game 2? Yikes. That is not how you want to start your UBL season. I mean, that's just unfortunate. That Fake Out turn 1 was a little bit brazen, but that's really good Sunny Day tech. Like, it's very clear that Otto knows that the matchup is not in his favor and thought a lot about how to combat the obvious turn 1 lead. So I commend him for that greatly. But Split kind of just like, I don't know. This is also an example of like why Split's team being kind of slow is a big detriment, because pretty much everyone is going to have a Pokemon like Noivern that is going to be faster and can change the weather, if not an outright weather setter. So really works in favor for Otto, and now Split sees that his game plan is not going to work out, and that makes this a lot harder for him. So Noivern Toxtricity is going to be the lead this time in this week in Among Us, and Toxtricity is very happy to see this, I would imagine. Goes with the Terra Normal. And it's Uproar. So it's trying to block the Spore, which I love seeing Uproar. So we can set the Tailwind. And now Ninetales is in a pretty good spot. You know, Terra's burned. Veil is going to be set up, which is super nice. Toxicity locked in Uproar. That crit is extremely unfortunate, though. Suicune would have definitely survived. But it is what it is, I guess. We see the loaded dice on the Titan, which is pretty cool. Goes to the Icicle Spear. Does pretty good damage to the Typhlosion. It's going to weaken Eruption at least. And this Toxicity probably just clicks another Uproar. Yep, it is locked in. I think you can't choose the target either, which is kind of unfortunate. Horsepower doesn't even get the kill. This mon is such a fraud, but Blizzard finds the pick on the Typhlosion, and Boom Burst does so much damage. And the Tailwind is gone too, so Garganocule comes out, double protects. Icicle Spear does absolutely nothing, and so Titan firmly cements himself as a fraud, because my god, that is embarrassing damage. Wow. Encore to lock and protect is pretty cool. Horsepower does absolutely nothing. And Salt Cure is going to find the kill. So this is real rough for Split, because the Hail is gone, and, you know, there's a Noivern in the back, and this is the only thing that's left that can really stand a chance, and it's already Salt Cured, and you can't get rid of it. I think we get how this game ends. So that was really rough from Split. I definitely think that they had the matchup, but it was very hard for them to play for that win condition because their team was so much slower. And Otto brought a really bulky squad. Like, Otto really showed the flexibility of his team, I feel like. Especially Noivern. I feel like Noivern's a mon that gets slept on a lot, but Otto really tapped into it here. So props to him. So already in Dawn, Cathy and I are over 2. That is going to change pretty shortly. I would imagine at least, because Winda versus Blue is up next. And Winda is the GOAT. You never doubt the GOAT. Unless you want to be played for a goddamn fool. So Double Protect comes out. This is a really well played game from Winda, by the way. Go watch his perspective on the channel as well. He's a gamer. So Trick Room's gonna come out, and I mean already he sees the Shadow Ball from Esper as a big threat, especially with Mystical Power for the Reuniclus, which is a really important Pokemon because of Trick Room. And that Clefable is going to get worn down relatively fast. So Shadow Ball is going to come out and get rid of the Castleberry, which is pretty nice. Hornleech is going to come out into Clef, and Shadow Ball is going to get the pick. So 2 turns left to Trick Room and your Clefable is already dead is not great. And you Shadow Ball into Protect, which is not amazing, but Headlong is going to not even find the kill. Wow, okay, Ursaluna is also a bit of a fraud. I think I'm learning a lot of Pokemon are frauds deep down. So you bring your Spectre in during Trick Room, which is not what you want. But Winda gets that nice prediction there with the Shadow Ball, and it's going to nullify the Helping Hand right as Trick Room runs out. So now Spectre's in, goes for the Terra Fairy. There's the Follow Me. Nice Terra Fairy to stop the knockoff. Gets the Draining Kiss, and I would imagine Trick Room goes back up here. Gets the Grim Nay, and yeah. I mean, at this point, it is extremely good for Winda. Your Trick Room is reset. That thing is almost dead. Aqua Ring and Empoleon for some reason. And it takes half already. Giving it the competitive boost is kind of scary. But you have Ursaluna, which underspeeds it and kills it. And it can't Terra anymore. So, Shadow Ball does big damage. Chilling Water does not even kill the Spectre. And this game is a little bit over in the Trick Room. So, Winda really flexing that he is one of like 3 coaches in the whole league in either division that has a Trick Room mode. And uses that to great effect in game 1. So, already, I mean, Winda wants to play in Trick Room. Like, it's pretty obvious. Just from that game 1. And yeah, the leads are going to show he wants to play in Trick Room. So here comes the Val. If it's in Prison Trick Room, now is the time you click it. And it's not in Prison Trick Room. So, oops, here comes the Trick Room. Psychic is doing big damage to the Ogerpon. Moonblast just drops the Val. And already Blue is at a pretty big deficit. Not leading with that Azelf is kind of detrimental. Here comes the Azelf now, trying to get the Helping Hand. And admittedly, it doesn't. Winda does not protect the Reuniclus. It goes for the double. He goes for double target on Ogerpon. So Helping Hand Shadow Ball can do big damage, but it's not enough to get the kill. And that kind of just solidifies that this is a really good spot. Really smart Terra Ghost, but Heal Pulse is going to heal it up. Psyche does a ton of damage to Moltres, and Mystical Power misses for the last cherry on top. this is in fact canon. Another mystical power into the protect, and it's just a simple follow me trick room, and this game is going to be over. So, again, really well played from Winda. A good amount of unfortunate RNG in his favor, but that's the go difference. Sometimes you're just tapped in. And Winda was really, I mean, he played this really well, as to be expected, kind of. I feel like we put a ton of pressure on Winda, but that's because we wanted to see him win, because it's fun to watch him win, and it's also fun to watch him fall. And that is the power of a champion, I guess. So, super good at the game. Very well played from Winda. Blue definitely put up a really good fight. I think just a couple, like, he had a really good game plan, especially game 1. But I think, I don't know. I think his plan beyond Azelf, Val, and Ogerpon was kind of weak. And I'm saying that purely from an outside perspective, because I don't really know all the inner workings that went in. I would imagine Blue thought about this matchup a lot. But it doesn't seem like he was that prepared to fight in Trick Room. And Winda absolutely was. So, I mean, sometimes it's just, you lose in prep. And I feel like that kind of happened with Blue. But anyway, we have one game left. We saw a little bit. We got Cathy, we got Gambit. The battle of the Mikus. Battle of the lesbian Mikus that are definitely dating. We all saw that song. We all know how it is. And we all support it, I would hope. So, this was pretty Cathy favored, we agreed. Gambit's team kind of struggles to hit Cathy's team that hard. So, let's see how that is going to go. Game 1, turn 1, Terra Water on the Comfey. And we see Imprison Trick Room. So, yeah, Imprison on this bastard in general is really fucking annoying. And yeah, no Trick Room. So already Gambit's main strategy was just Trick Room. And if you can't tell this Trick Room, look at this and look at this and look at this and tell me what you think the strategy is. And free Sword Stance into Hornleech. Yeah, this is already a very detrimental start. Because both of these Pokemon are not doing any damage, and this is dying immediately. D-Gleam's going to do some nice chip, and, I mean, yeah, you forfeit. There's not much you can do, because it's just Hornleech, and, like, your only hope is Ursaluna, which is dying, and you've already burned your Terra, and there's 2 Pokemon at full health in front of you. One of them stops your main strategy. The other one kills everything on your team, and there's still 2 more in the back you don't know about. So, like, yeah, I don't blame Gambit for forfeiting there. And then game 2, we see the lead in Magmar Bronzong versus Klefki and Ogerpon. So the same leads. Magmar obviously here to pressure that Klefki, as is the Terrifier Bronzong. So here comes the Imprison, Trick Room, Swords Dance. Cathy is, I mean, she knows what she wants to do in her game plan. But Flamethrower does a lot of damage, and IDEF means that this Bronzong is kind of a problem for this Ogerpon because it can't really touch it. So Ogerpon in front of 2 fire types is not a fun time. P2 is going to come out, which now means that Bronzong is free to set up Trick Room. Follow Me comes out, another Sword Stance hits the tower, and Body Press folds the Porygon. So this Bronzong is getting a little out of hand for Cathy fans. So here comes a Hyper Voice revealing that this is the Zoroark. Ivy Cudgel just folds the Magmar because +4 Ogerpon is +4 Ogerpon. And now Gambit finally has set up his Trick Room Endeavor. So +4 Bronzong with Body Press and Ursaluna. It's going to be pretty dang scary here. Ice Spinner into this guy. Into Hyper Voice, because obviously you can't Body Press this guy. Hyper Voice with the Mind's Eye breaks through, but very good Terra Steel from Cathy to live that double up. And now Hornleech just drops the Ursaluna. And Snarl doesn't pick up the kill. So Snarl was a bit of a blunder, I guess, in some respects. But regardless, this guy can't really touch it. And Body Press into the Spiky Shield was a really nice read from Cathy. Spiky Shield was, I mean, just a really good play in general. Expecting that double up. And Hyper Voice is going to pick up the kill onto Bronzong. And at this point, Wave Crash does not even take out the Ogerpon. Hornleech gets the kill. And Cathy gets a really nice 2-0 win after a pretty rough start. And I think this is just a pure matchup diff. Like, Gambit's a phenomenal player. But his team is just not, like, the draft he had at the time of the battle was just not equipped to fight the draft that Cathy had. So that's just how it goes. So all in all, Cathy and I ended up 4-4 in predictions. So we got 4 right, we got 4 wrong, all tied up after week 1. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching this little weekly recap. Sorry I couldn't get it to you on time. I will try to be better about it, I promise. But until then, I got some pizza rolls waiting for me, so take care.
We have Vatrena versus Rats. And Cathy and I thought that Vatrena would win. But we didn't consider something. And that is the big dog. So, actually, I think I am going to have to split this up into two. So, it's going to be at a dusk. See you guys for dawn. Alright. I don't know. That was really sick. And I kind of want to talk about it a little bit more. So, I have with me